The Lorax said nothing, just gave me a glance, just a very sad, sad backward glance, as he lifted himself by the seat of his pants. And I'll never forget the grim look on his face, when he hoisted himself and took leave of this place, through a hole in the smog, without leaving a trace. And all that the Lorax left here in this mess was a small pile of rocks, with the one word, unless. Whatever that meant, well, I just couldn't guess. But now, says the Onceler, now that you're here, the word of the Lorax seems perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. The creation of Dr. Seuss, the Lorax is a creature who is one with nature and who speaks for it. The Lorax speaks for the trees have no tongues. He is the moral standard in Dr. Seuss's book. Yet, he also represents the free will of mankind to either live in accordance or in opposition with nature. So, let us dive into the philosophy of the Lorax and learn how we may be more like the Lorax and live in harmony with the natural world around us and with our very own nature. Let's start by living in accordance with nature. In Marcus Aurelius' Meditations, Marcus holds to it that to live a good and stoic life is to live in both accordance with the nature of the universe and with our very own human nature. And this nature is that virtue is the only true good, and vice, which arises from ignorance, is the only true evil in the world. And Marcus lived by this. He journaled in order to keep himself in check, so that he may not find vices and false impressions superior to his will. Marcus cared for his common kin, that was humanity, and believed that everyone has their role to play in serving the common good. In this pursuit, like us all, he wasn't perfect, but he never grew lax in regards to his own conduct in life. He made sure that the rational and divinely intelligent version of himself always rose superior over his animalistic nature. This duality is something we all possess within ourselves. And this animalistic nature, this nature of vice, is the lower side of ourselves that indulges. It's the side that values pleasure and comfort over what's virtuous and right. This animalistic nature is what leads us to value things in life that only exist in the short term and lead us astray from our role of serving our common kin and good. Marcus understood how all-consuming this animalistic nature is and the amount of care it requires for one to change once they've fallen into vice. In his own words, the point is that once you've turned your attention elsewhere and turned aside from your path, it will be impossible for you to give your undivided attention and the highest honor to the good that is peculiarly your own. It's sacrilegious for what is rational and contributes to the common good to be rivaled by anything that is different in kind, such as popularity, political power, wealth, or sensual pleasure, all things that afford a brief illusion of happiness, but then suddenly overpower one and lead one astray. So, as I say, you must simply and freely choose the better course and stay with it. But what is better is what does me good. If it does you good as a rational being, don't dispense with it. But if it does you good as an animal, spurn it and keep to your original decision without preening yourself on it. Just make sure that you conduct your inquiry without coming to harm. We all have our two natures, our rational and our animalistic, our Lorax and our Onceler. One part that puts one's best interest and the common good before fleeting pleasures and vices, our Lorax, and the other part that is self-destructive and dangerous to all that is around us, our Onceler. The Lorax knew that pride, or whatever vice, is like a bug or worm that is always hungry. It will always beckon to be fed by our inner animal with impulses that tempt us with vice and pleasure. And if we feed this ever hungry bug, eventually we become an animal ourselves. We lose reason and become slaves to our lower selves. Marcus Aurelius knew this, and so did the Lorax. That is why, for the Lorax movie in the demo song Biggering, companies are referred to as animals, always taking and taking in the name of greed and pride. But these companies also represent our lower selves that put selfish pleasures before the common good. The story of the Lorax represents our need to respect and love the world, to be a better person and to care deeply about the common good and prioritizing our true best interests. It teaches us to not lax when it comes to our actions and instincts, that to feed and entertain your lower animal side eventually leads to you taking all your attention away from contributing to the common good and giving it only to what is pleasurable. And eventually, if you feed the animal inside you too much, you yourself become one, with only illusions of contentment and happiness left to torment you. And it is in that dark void of consumption where the soul rots and man becomes animal. Ultimately, though, the Lorax serves not only as a cautionary tale, but as a reminder and lesson that even if you have succumbed to your animal instincts, as long as you have the heart to recognize your wrongdoing and care enough to change, you may heal yourself and the world around you. All it takes is just for you to care deeply and be the positive change in the world. Remember, your animal nature is your lower self because that is its true nature. It is inferior to your rational and divine nature that supports the common good and what is in your true best interest. And that the animal within us only gains power over you when you feed it. So, never grow lax or complacent when it comes to living well by serving your kin and the common good. Never act without purpose. Make sure that all your actions conform to the philosophical principles that constitute the art of living. Carry this lesson in your heart and care deeply. By this, the world will get better.